Just take it on the ice milk, okay?
Listen to any good podcasts lately?
Sorry, what was that?
Listen to any good podcasts lately? Oh, you know what podcasts are?
No.
You have an iPhone?
No, I don't.
Oh, you have an Android?
Yes, I do.
Oh yeah, just go in and get like Stitcher Radio. Way better than the radio, man. They're all like you can search anything you're interested in,
Oh, really?
and they're just radio shows, and you can listen to them whenever you want, wherever you want. You don't have to wait a certain time. They just go on your phone. It's free. Stitcher Radio. Check it. A lot of good podcasts. What are you interested in? Football, baseball, anything, dude? They got everything.
Basketball seasons.
There's like 20 basketball ones, dude. And that's all they talk about what's going on. I do a motorcycle one, but
really?
I listen to them all day. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
All right. Check it out, man.
Thanks, sir.
All right. You guys have a good day. Hey, Bikeaholics and listeners alike. The show is still going strong because of a lot of hard work and your support, of course. Thanks to all those loyal listeners and true friends of the show that have supported us or are supporting us. For less than a coffee a month, you can help support us too and put a little fuel in the law-abiding biker gas tank to make sure this show keeps moving on down the road. So, calling all law-abiding bikers, head over to our Patreon page and take action today. You can do so at lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Oh, did I mention there's benefits too? From all your friends at lawabidingbiker.com, we appreciate each and every one of you. God bless and ride safe. And now, straight from the Law Abiding Biker Media Studio,
out of sunny Yakima, Washington,
we bring you another episode of the
#1 listen to motorcycle podcast.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
We're in your head.
Let's do it. Oh, yeah. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority. The Big MM, also known as the
99%.
That's right, Oscar in the house. I got to ask you, what are you waiting for, bikeaholics? Mount up. Let us take you on a ride. This is also a special episode for all you freaky, deaky Sons of Anarchy fans. You're a bunch of crazy, psychotic, cult-like people, and we are too. Shall we get at it, boys? Because
let's do it.
We do have a kick-ass episode for everybody. A lot of stuff packed in. Real quick, that opener I played. By the way, I suppose I should introduce myself in case somebody's tuning in that's new, which happens every episode. I am Ryan Erlacher, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast, and your
high-tech redneck.
And that is Chewy there. Came up tonight to spit a special Sons of Anarchy podcast. Who else? We got Oscar over here. I still don't have a tune for Oscar. What up, Oscar?
Yo.
Thanks for being here. And Oscar is the proud, actually he should be proud because he downed 3 omelets. I made omelets and he downed
they were
3
good too.
omelets.
They were like what, 3 egg omelets?
2 eggs each.
Oh, see, 6 eggs doesn't even count.
Well, all right. I'm just proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm glad you like them.
They're delicious. Yeah, they are delicious.
We sent out I wanted to talk about the very beginning of the episode here and the intros and stuff. That little clip I played, we're going to start doing that, guys. Those are just little clips I go around and I talk to people and ask them what a podcast is and get their response and try to steer them towards getting listening to podcasts, because there's a lot of people that want to do it. They just don't really know about it or take action. And the more people we can bring it to, the better for all podcasts on the podcast industry. So if you guys get a chance to do that too. Next time you're going through a drive-through, just say, hey, what good podcast you listened to lately? And they'll go, some know about it, some don't, or some know what a podcast is, but they haven't listened, and get them involved. Tell them how to get it on iTunes real quick, or if they have an Android, Stitcher Radio is the 2 I drive them to. And I guarantee a lot of those went and checked it out because I told them to take action on it, and there's a lot of cool stuff. What do you think about that, Oscar?
What's a podcast?
Pretty badass, huh? Yeah.
Never been a part of one of those.
Now, I put out some stuff today. We're going to try to start doing that, guys, on our Twitter handle, which is Law Abiding Biker. So you can just look us up on Twitter at Law Abiding Biker, or you can just go to lawabidingbiker.com/Twitter. It'll take you right there. I also did our Facebook page, which is our Facebook group, our open Facebook group, and that's Law Abiding Biker. You can look us up on Facebook, or just go to lawabidingbiker.com/Facebook. It'll take you directly there. We're sending out some stuff trying to get people involved. while we're actually recording live, and I'll put out like the thing I put today on Twitter and Facebook is, hey, we're going to be recording 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hit us up with some tweets, hit us up with some Facebook stuff. And so I'm going to be monitoring that while I'm doing everything else here behind the mic. And we'll try to get some guys involved. It looks like we already got some tweets coming in. We've got some Facebook stuff. So we're going to try to work that into the show. So if you want to get involved, make sure you do that. And pay attention to our Twitter and our Facebook page, and we'll put out the times that we're going to do that kind of stuff, guys. Should we look at some of these tweets, boys, or what?
Let's do it.
All right, real quick before we get into it. All right. So I'm looking at some tweets here, and then you guys can comment on them. It looks like it's coming in here real recently here from, let's see, it's from Jake Church, and it's at Law Abiding Biker. I think that Abel is the one that killed the birds and left the message.
Oh.
He said writing is a little nice for a kid.
No.
Okay, what do you think? Go.
He was at school.
Right. So throw at it. We're going to keep this episode
Well,
popping.
because
What's your
Abel's
thought?
like 3.5 feet tall, and the writing was like at the 6 foot level.
No. I could see where he's thinking that Abel's kind of having some issues and could kill the birds based on what's going on, but no. He
I
was
think
at
he's
school.
drunk right now, and he has no idea
Yeah.
concept of
Yeah.
height.
Jake
and
Justice.
stuff.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, well,
Just take a breather right now, Jake Justice.
here's my take. I think, obviously, appreciate you sending in Jake there. I think he's wrong. Here's why. That writing wasn't from Abel. It wasn't from anybody, but what that was is a threat. And if you look at those episodes, especially last night's episode, is that was specifically from August Marks and his crew as security. It said, what did it say? Something about no son is safe.
No
And-
son is safe.
And the
yeah.
bird was killed. And that pretty clear to me, that was a message from August Marks and his crew. I don't think Abel did that at all. So, but sorry, Jake,
thought.
to cut
Good
you down
thought.
there. Good thought. Keep drinking. Okay. Here's another one from Jake
Attaboy.
Church. He says, at Law Abiding, and ultimately he will play a major role in the Gemma's hopefully gruesome demise. I guess that was an addition to his message. Any thoughts on that? Let's move up here to, I think he was just falling up there. This is from Richard Kane. Shout out to Richard Kane.
What's up, Rich?
What up? At Law Abiding Biker. He says, is Gemma going to get her due? Will it be at the hands of Jax after realizing as long this violence occurred after a lie?
You know,
No.
at first I thought when we made these predictions before the season started, I said that that Jax would kill her. I don't believe so. I think she's gonna do herself. I really do.
What do you mean by that?
I agree. That's what I tweeted him back.
She probably does herself quite a bit, but what I'm
She
saying
has
is
to.
she's gonna end her life.
You
She's gonna-
think?
yeah, she'll do it.
I don't know. She's got like the puppet's fingers.
I'm tired of it though. She needs to go.
She's
tired
a
of it.
manipulative woman. She's good at it too.
Yeah, she is.
So we appreciate that, Richard Kane. And I tweeted him back here and I said, I think what you guys just said, that Gemma's going to whack herself. And he came back and said, I concur with that, but Jack's doing it would make for a dramatic ending. I agree, Richard Kane. Thanks for the tweets. All right, if we have a little bit of time later, we'll jump in and we'll look at some Facebook stuff here. But the Twitter is the easiest way to do this, guys, but we will monitor the Facebook page too. Thanks for those tweets. Thanks for the rest of the tweets. Like I say, we'll see if we can get him. Do you guys want to make a cold call to Jake?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think it's a
let's
good
see what
idea.
he's up to.
All right, let me get this set up. Hey, Jake, now we got some tweets from you. We're recording live here. What is your main overall? Dude, that writing on the wall, that writing on the wall, what did it say? No son is safe. That was not Abel's writing, dude. Did you get that? That was the work.
Yeah, see,
That was the work of August Marks. He sent his buffoons over there to put the fear into them and Gemma, saying no son is safe, and they killed the birds and all that because they were all gone.
you think they did that?
Yes.
Yes, they did.
Unless Abel's 6 feet tall, dude.
Because he was up. He was up, when the gal came in. He was up and goofing around.
Now
I don't think he's strong enough to do the knife, nor do I think I don't know. The writing has been a little different.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, I'm thinking anyways, I think it was a message from, because it was right in line with August Marks and everything going down and him not wanting to negotiate. And then they all left to get the boys and Abel. And when they came home, that stuff was like that. So Chewy was throwing you under the bus saying you don't know what you're talking about.
Nah, dude, I think Abel had some involvement there. Even if he killed one of the women. I don't see August Marks writing with a crayon on a wall.
Well, you know what? And there was people in the house. There was people in the house when this happened.
No, they all left and they came back they came back from picking up the kids. That's one of what they were talking about is everybody was gone because Nero later tells Jack, somebody did it while everybody was out of the house.
Yep, you're correct. That's what he did say.
But I see what Jake's getting at because they have the thing, Gemma's talking to Junior about his behavior, and then she goes in the bedroom and sees the blood because she sends Abel off. And then she goes in the bedroom and sees the blood. So Kurt Sutter kind of sets it up like he wants you to think Abel killed the birds, but then you see the writing and you're like, all right, well, Abel's not going to be able to stick a butcher knife in the wall.
Well, and Abel's got this look on his face like he's lobotomized. And I don't know if he's the best actor and best kid actor there is, or if he's just a horrible actor. But I think that he's either going to tell somebody or do something that's going to, maybe he already told somebody, what's her freaking name? The one that used to be Adriana on The Sopranos.
Oh, Wendy.
Wendy, yeah.
I like it, dude.
I go crazy thinking about other scenarios, but yeah.
I like it, man. I like it. We appreciate you playing along, dude. We're going to have to get you on here more often, or when you can come up and sit on the sofa and spit a podcast with us.
Hey, not a problem. Looking forward to it.
All right, brother. Hey, you have a good night, and next time you're whacking off, wear a helmet.
Hey.
We'll do.
All right,
I need
buddy.
a flak jacket.
Later.
That's what I need.
All right, there you go, dude.
That was awesome.
He's a good sport, man.
Yeah,
He's a good sport.
dude.
We're going to cover on this episode. This is going to be, if you want the show notes, go to lawabidingbiker.com/SOA and the number 12. That will get you the show notes. Again, we're covering season 7 episodes. What is it going to be? 6 or 7 and 8. So this is episode 7. We're going to get kicked off with here. It aired October 21st, titled Green Sleeves. Do you guys know why?
No.
Yeah, because Mr. Green Sleeves was that pimp daddy that they took out that pimp, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, his name was Mr. Green Sleeves.
Oh, that's right. Yep, You're correct.
Then they played at the end of the show, they played one from Katie Seagal. She sings this Green Sleeves song. It's kind of a corny song, but...
You know, that sounded like a Christmas song.
It is a Christmas song, originally.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know the song?
Yeah. Green sleeves. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
my
but
God. Sing it.
But they've changed it.
You want background music?
No, at the end of the show,
It's a Christmas song, but the Christmas song is not. That doesn't. I mean, the actual rhythm of the song is a Christmas song.
Well, yeah.
But the actual lyrics to the song are not.
Okay, there you go. You guys needed to know that. That is some definite trivia. So we see the opening scene here, guys. Chewie, we talked a little bit about this now. Jax, they do give him his cutback, and then he rides off on his bike. But
Now
they're using him.
Okay.
So that's my take, is they're definitely using him. Well, let's just break it down. Oscar, he got on the motorcycle. He shot at the motorcycle CHP officers.
Yeah.
A little pursuit ensued. He gave up. Rat and another guy was following the van to make sure he got taken into custody. Now he's in prison. We all know that he's in prison to try to get to Lynn. He's trying to get to AdSeg. We're going to get into all this, but
I think he knows.
As soon as he did that, I knew, and I can't believe we didn't figure this out last episode.
I
when we were
know.
in here. I'm thinking, why would they have him in prison? And then he does this and throws the gun down. I'm like, I know right away what they're doing.
my personal opinion is, Jack, even though everybody thinks Jax maybe is going to let him back in the club, I don't think any of them.
He's a
No
rat.
way.
He will not come back.
Either
He's a
way,
rat.
they're going to kill him.
He's done. They're going to have Tully kill him after he kills Lynn.
That's what we were talking about the other
They'll have
night.
Tully kill him.
Yeah, I agree. I
Okay,
agree. No
there you
matter
go,
what he
guys.
does,
He's done.
Tully's going to kill him.
He's fried.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, so he obviously gets taken into custody. We'll skip past that. Now, Unser says that Deputy Egley told him who was there when she was shot. So Unser, remember, he went to Jax, and Jax is all concerned, about her talking. And Jax tells him, "Don't worry about it. She's not going to talk." But he needs his word.
You mean Unser tells Jax that?
Right? Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Correct.
Jax is like, Unser tells Jax, well, she talked about who was there, and he goes, and Jax was like, and
can someone refresh my memory? Because why does Unser care about Egley?
she's a cop.
She's a cop, and he knows her. And
No, because she worked for him before.
right.
But she's another cop.
Well, yeah, but why does he care about one and not the others? Because she was the blonde office gal that was always reporting into Unser all the time.
Like it.
Yeah.
Good memory recall.
I'm bringing it back for the audience a little bit.
Very nice.
You can just go away now.
And Unser's a cop at heart, man.
Yeah,
he
he
can't
is.
let it go. He's in with Sheriff Jerry. He's working as a consultant. He knows Egley. He knows all these people. But that's a good recall, man.
Because he doesn't care about the other guy that got killed. He's not like, oh,
Well,
because Egley was his.
who would you
whatever
care
she
about
was.
more, Egley or the other guy?
Point taken.
Thank you. Not that Egley's hot or anything, but
But
anyways,
but Egley's alive and she can talk and
Yeah.
tell him why this happened, or tell him who was there and why it happened.
well, she did.
Yeah.
But so he knows that
Oh,
Jax
sure he
was
does.
there.
Sure
She
he
knows
does.
that Jax was there. But all she cared about, she said, or all that Unser said she cared about was keeping Charming whole. And she wasn't going to rat the club that she grew up there, that she went to school with Jax, member. So Unser convinced him that she just cares about, she's going to have a limited
Yeah.
memory is
She's,
basically what
she's
it is.
afraid. She doesn't want to tell. She doesn't want to die.
Exactly.
Oh, would you? I wouldn't either.
So
I
here,
answered for you.
So here we go. Sam Crow meets at the table. Remember this little
Yep.
speech? This was quite a little speech that Jack gave, and he got a little teary-eyed, and all that kind of stuff. Let's listen in on this little conversation, and then we'll have a little talksy about it, huh?
Your loyalty and faith in me over the last few weeks, I can't express my gratitude. This vengeance was personal, and all of you have allowed me to bring it here. I know I keep asking for way more than the patch requires. And never once have any of you hesitated or had a blink of doubt. I don't think I'm going to be able to repay that debt. You're my family. I love all of you.
That was his little teary-eyed moment. Now, that was a long speech at the table, and do you guys remember at the table he talked, this was his first time. This is back at episode 7. Now, as we get into last night, episode 8, we see kind of why he said some of the things he said. This is the first time he admitted that he underestimated Marks, and that Marks has a lot of power. He has a lot of money. He can buy intelligence. He's very politically involved, and Jax doesn't know how deep those ties run. I think and then we'll go around, but I think this was the first time that Jax really was like, okay, I bit off
Oops.
way more than I can chew here. What do you guys
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, for sure. And and that's the first time that he tells everyone that it's personal.
Ooh,
Because the whole time he's been talking about us for the club and all this other stuff. And actually, who called it in episode 1 or 2? Someone said, no, it's personal. It's not club business. And he's
This is-
finally admitting to the club that
No,
it's-
this is, you realize he changed everything about the way he was taking the club. Once his wife died, that all changed.
right.
It all changed.
Right.
Right.
But he
He's-
never told them that everything I'm doing is just for me.
No, you're right. Yeah, no, he never told the club that. But that's pretty much
That's what he's been doing.
the club obviously has to know that.
you would, yeah, right.
I mean,
But at least he freely admitted it.
Right.
Finally, I agree. The club knows it. So I agree with both of you. Usually that's not the case.
and they're behind
Yeah.
him. They're behind him too because of they are behind him because of what happened to his wife.
Right? Little do they know, the killing of Tara brought the club closer and tighter together.
We're still waiting for our host to go on a killing spree, and he hasn't yet. So, I mean,
yeah.
I stock it up. So when I go, I'm going to go. All right. So let's talk about Nero and his little dream here of moving to the farm.
how does that happen? He goes from thug gangster to, I want to take my kid to a farm.
my initial thought on that is him and Juice had a little meeting
Yeah.
when they were in a room.
No one knows what was in that
And
meeting.
I think Juice might have told him about this whole thing, and he's worried about Gemma.
He told Juice about what?
Juice told
Oh, you think
Nero.
you still think that might have happened?
I think so. I think he might have told him because we'll talk about it later on, but you can see his initial reaction to what is going on later on in the episode.
Well, go ahead.
It
Just
is.
bring it up. We're not going to go in order. We're
well,
going to tie it all together. So bring
when,
it up.
When Gemma's in the cabin and he gets a call,
Right. So she's in the cabin. Let's set it up for the audience. She's in the cabin taking care of the heroin gal, the pastor's
heroin gal, that
pastor's
Jax,
wife.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that Jax had them go to the cabin because they're setting up this deal to screw Marks.
Right.
So basically, he sends 2 of his guys. Jax sends 2 of his guys to go get Gemma and bring her to the cabin.
Rat and
Gemma,
Happy.
Happy and
Rat.
Rat.
Mhm.
So they go there to do it, and of course Gemma's thinking, and they don't say much.
Well,
If
and
you remember,
Yeah,
this.
right.
And-
she thought she was getting taken there because somebody found out that she murdered Tara.
exactly.
And Jax ordered her there.
Yeah, exactly. And
Mhm.
and then they told her it's a son-daughter,
It was a son-mother
son-mother
issue because they were like,
And-
your mother can be
and so
a little bit difficult sometimes. And Jax just laughs and they're like, what should we tell her? Just tell her it's a mother-son issue.
And so she's really, you can tell then Gemma's like, I'm going to die. Well, she ends up calling,
Nero.
no, Wendy does.
Oh yeah, but she called her because before
Wendy,
she left with Rat and Happy, she told Wendy, she whispered,
she tells
call
Wendy,
Nero.
call him and tell him that I'm going there. Well, you can see his reaction to that. And why would he think the club was going to kill her? Why would he be excited about that she's going to the cabin?
True. Good point, dude.
Unless he knows.
I thought he was upset that.
No. Why would he be all upset about that Jax had her go to the cabin? Who cares?
You're
Who cares
right.
if she goes to the cabin? It's not a big deal. They own the cabin. Who cares if she goes there? He was on the phone with Wendy.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that part.
He was on the phone with Wendy, calls him, and he automatically is like in a panic.
Chewy.
So I think that he knows now that Gemma was involved. I think that Juice told him. I do.
Okay. Now, with that thought, that's awesome. That's why we love having you here, dude. You're a deep thinker like that. I agree. Why would he be? Because he walked in the cabin to set it up for the audience. If you don't remember, he walked in the cabin and he's like, "Where's Gemma?" She comes out. It's okay. He looks relieved. Gemma looks relieved. Now, why would Nero? Now, she has a reason to be relieved. Okay, they didn't find out that I murdered Tara and they didn't kill me.
Notice the little things too. When he walks in, Happy has the gun.
Well, yeah, because he doesn't know who's at the door.
Right. But you can see Nero looking at the gun like
he was freaked out.
Yeah, he's scared.
Yeah.
And why? Why would you be scared?
My only argument to that, I agree with you. I'm just telling for devil's advocate reasons, purposes. The only reason I would say he's scared is because Gemma told Wendy, get a hold of him. They're taking me to the cabin. It's an emergency meeting. Nobody tells her why. So we didn't see it in the episode. Of course, they didn't film it. But in the background, you can think, okay, so Nero gets a frantic call from Wendy saying there's emergency something. She got taken to the cabin and there was no reason for it.
Yeah,
but I agree with you. I'm just saying that's the argument.
Nero knows how much Jax loves his mother. He's not going to think.
He's not going to think anyone would do anything to him.
What reason would Jax have to harm his mother?
Right.
I agree with you.
Nero doesn't know that. I mean, if he didn't know that, he would be like, well, she's just you know what I mean? He knows something.
Then
he knows something.
I like it. Now, with that said, you got anything, Oscar? I don't want to just jump in if you got anything. My only thing then is why would Nero string things along then? Why doesn't, if he knows she killed,
he doesn't.
Because he loves her?
Yes. And he doesn't want her to die.
Gotcha.
He wants to get her out.
Oh, I like this, Chewy.
And see, in
because he
episode
loves
8,
her and he wants her to go with him.
I love it.
In episode 8, that comes to fruition.
Which comes into what we started this conversation with. He's all emotional and he's wanting her to come with him. Why is he wanting her? Well, because he thinks she's going to die.
Oh man, I like
and he wants to get her out. He wants to get her out of there and protect her before this.
Can I get a midair fist bump?
Midair fist bump right here.
That was awesome, dude.
I'll put it in slow motion for you. It looks cooler. That is really good, Chewy. I like it. So
wow, that's impressive.
It is. With that said, I tend to agree with you. I didn't make that connection, but I like how you wrap that all up together. So,
I actually told him all that like 3 days ago or something, but
right. Now, this is from the guy that comes over to podcast about it and says he hasn't watched last night's episode and has to sit while we're eating dinner and catch up.
Dude, the doghouse. Come on, the doghouse.
Oscar's been busy building a doghouse.
And I'm a crapenter, not a carpenter. So if that tells you anything.
A crapenter.
Dude, I love it. And his doghouse is going to be not level and crooked.
Slightly out of square. But only by 3/30 seconds. Or 3 inch and 3/30 seconds. That's fine.
Yeah, it's good for a doghouse, bro.
Right.
Anyways, if there's nothing else on that, let's talk. So he wants to get Gemma out of town. Now I think we know a reason because we got Chewy in the studio here. That's really, really good. He wants $150K. He actually needs $300K. He's trying to sell his part of Diosa, right?
Yep.
He's trying to sell part of Diosa, and he's trying to get, we see in episode 8, we see him talking to Alvarez. He talks to Jax a little bit about it, but Jax doesn't really give him an answer. I don't think Jax is ready to let him go on that.
You know, he might be trying to take her. He might be trying to take her to a place where Jax doesn't know where she's at.
Maybe some farm. It's a good point because
and that's why he's not telling her he knows this.
But why would he tell Wendy?
Yeah, he did. He wants Wendy to go with. He talked to Wendy last night in episode 8.
Because Wendy helped Juice.
Right.
Once this comes out,
I agree.
Once Jax
But you think
knows,
Nero knows that Wendy helped Juice?
He does know that.
He does?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does know that.
Yeah. And once
Well-
he knows that Jax is a loose cannon, and once he finds out that Wendy and Gemma helped Juice, once he finds out Gemma helped kill his wife, he knows Jax is going to kill him. There's
Right.
no end in sight for that. He knows that because he knows how reckless Jax is. So
I thought
that's
Abel
why
killed
he's
Sarah. Sorry, Jake, if you're listening, dude.
Oh, geez.
Sorry.
Geez, don't. Hey,
So, anyways, I just think that he knows he's not saying much because he doesn't want to get people overly excited, and I think that he wants to get Gemma out of there. And Wendy, he likes Wendy because Wendy has changed her life. She's trying to get these kids on the right track. So
Or
I think
maybe
that
he wants Gemma and Wendy.
oh yeah,
Gemma
dude.
and Wendy.
Totally.
could be.
Now-
There we go.
Okay, so Chewy, I like it. I'm gonna agree with you. He wants Wendy to go. He wants Gemma to go. He must know somehow, and maybe it's from Juice in the Closet, that they both helped him, that they could both be killed now. It kind of seems he's rounding up those people that
He
lives
is.
are in danger.
And you notice when he first questioned Gemma too, he knew. It kind of made you think he knew more than what he was telling.
Right. Because he did. When he
knew a
hugged
little
her.
something- because you brought it up.
Right.
And I was like, well, I don't know. But the more that this goes on, the more that in the thing, and he's crying in front of Gemma, and he's selling Diosa, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he knows.
That's awesome insight,
knows.
man. I
He does,
agree with
yeah.
you.
I think so.
So he wants $300K for it, and he needs $150 cash up front. He tells Marcus Alvarez, the president of the Mayans Motorcycle Club. Alvarez seems really interested, and he also, obviously, it'll be a bonding experience. That would mean Diosa would be owned by Alvarez and Jax, which would be an
Jeez.
interesting little relationship.
That's crazy.
That
'Cause
would
they-
bond them forever.
Yeah. No.
Nothing, no, but nothing
No way.
bonds.
No way.
Nothing bonds like porn and stuff.
Right. We thought that that was going to bond Jax and Nero, but we've seen that hasn't completely bonded them together, owning that business. But like I say, Jax has not told him that he's in on selling that. But outside of Jax's presence, he's talking to Alvarez. So that's going to be interesting to see. But I agree. Let's close that part with that. Is that I'm going to agree with you that he's rounding the people up that are in danger, trying to do his little protection. I pretty much think he's going to buy a farm. And he's gonna. I think he'd look good driving a swather. What do you think?
He'd have some sheep and a swather and.
He could get some cornfields and sell E15.
Whoa! You need to
Wow.
put that right away.
All right, guys, let's move on. So this is the big church scene, and then we're gonna wrap all this up. We talked a little bit about it, and that is the dead pastor's wife, right? The black gal.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's at the cabin. We've talked about that a little bit. She's trying to detox from heroin.
She's not bled though. She's not dead.
No, the dead pastor's wife.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right, the dead pastor's
Still,
wife.
he's still dead.
Because I don't know her name.
Pretty much.
Right, the pastor is still dead.
He is.
Fact.
Yeah.
Jeez, leave it. Oscar, he's good. Okay, so let's play this little scene. This is where we set all this up, and then we're going to talk about this.
Okay.
And that is where they go to the church with a Piedmont, whatever, the Piedmont Life Center. That's what it was called. I saw the sign on the church. And they meet with the son and the mother, and this is the ones that remember.
Regarding the.
You know what? Let's
the
just play it.
document.
You're right. Let's just play it because it'll answer a lot more questions. Here we go.
We know for sure your husband was killed. It was August Marks.
Sweet Lord, how do you know?
We've been watching Marks. We saw a couple of his thugs burying a body at a Pope construction site.
And you dug it up. Jesus. We can show you a picture.
No. What do you want from us?
I need your help to stop Marks. If we don't act now, he is going to destroy what's left of both our families. My wife was murdered a few weeks ago.
Oh my God.
What do you want her to do? Just tell the truth.
Just having proof that there's a body on one of his properties is not going to be enough of a threat. But if you sign a statement saying that he threatened you and your husband into signing that housing deal, that's motive for murder. That'll ruin him. That's a threat with teeth.
Then why not just have him arrested?
Because then he has nothing to lose, and he'll have you both killed.
Look, the leverage of him losing an empire he can almost touch, that's going to be enough to back Marks off. You keep the death photos of your husband and your statement with an informed third party. That's what keeps you safe, protects your church and your husband's legacy.
You need to tell him.
Tell me what?
One of my stepfather's suppliers has been blackmailing us. He has cell phone footage of Jonathan with very young men at the lake house. And you can see pictures of my mother and me in the background.
I don't have any more money to pay him. When that comes out, the church's reputation and my credibility will be ruined. I mean, I'm afraid my statement against Mr. Marks won't provide much leverage. I'm sorry.
You told him about a pimp?
He goes by the name Greensleeves, Oakland P.O. Box.
We can handle your blackmail problem, but I need to know you're with us on Marks. We have a cabin a few hours from here. My guys could take you up there. I'll have my mom come out. She can help taper you off the junk. She's done it with a few of my guys. We can get you well.
Oh, baby, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I brought him into your life.
No, Mama, it's not your fault. Okay, it's not your fault. I am still here.
Okay, which one of you guys wants to clean that up and put it in a wrapper of what just went down there? Because there's a lot of stuff there.
You know, I don't really understand why they're doing this.
Okay,
to be honest.
I can explain it.
You explain
Okay.
it, because to me, what they're doing is setting themselves up for failure. That's my opinion.
Right.
You're doing this instead of going.
But
when
do you really know why they're doing it, though? I
Yeah.
guess, or are you just saying you don't generally think why they would make a decision like that, or you really don't know what they're doing? Because I don't understand the question quite.
No, I don't understand why they're doing that.
Okay, so here,
Oh,
Oscar,
yeah.
go ahead.
Oh, well, he talks about how August Marks has too much money in politics. And so they can't just kill him. They have to go at him a different way.
I want you to keep going. What Oscar's talking about is at the beginning of episode 7, when they sat at the table, we just went
Right.
over it, where he says, August, he comes to this fruition that he's made a bad mistake. August has money, power, he's got political connection. It runs too deep. At that table, Jack says, we can't take him out with blood. We've got to
okay.
use leverage. So go ahead, Oscar, because that wraps it up
yeah.
good.
So they're going after the big cash cow for him, because that was didn't it start with Pope, and then August took over this big housing project, and so that's kind of, I think, Pope, and then August via Pope has leveraged everything on this big housing project.
But see, it's dumb to me to think that you got a guy of this much power, to think that you're going to sign this little, whatever it was they signed, this little petition thing that he's
Right, little affidavit. Mhm.
and you think that he's going to follow through with that? As much power and as much stuff? No, he's not.
Well, but he's
So it may have been a bad decision.
It's stupid.
But,
It's dumb.
But he's
No,
doing it for a reason.
You know what
yeah,
you do-
no, I
you-
think because August is banking on this housing project is his bank,
Yeah,
so he doesn't have a whole lot other than this.
but why not? Why not save your club, save your people? Having any type of mind, you know that this is going to be bad.
Yeah, but what do you
Sending
think
this
he
to him.
should have did?
Call him out. Hey, we need to talk. Boom, and do away with him.
The problem with that, though, and what
Yeah.
Oscar's getting at, and I like it, this is the discussion, is that's why Jax doesn't want to do that, dude. If his political ties run deep, Jax and the whole club will be arrested
Yeah.
and put in prison, dude, if he does something like
Yeah.
that. And that's what they're saying. His ties, he's got money. He can buy judges. He can buy lawyers. He can buy the police. He's got all those political connections. He's got money, power. He doesn't have any family. He doesn't have anything to risk to lose. Dude,
Yeah,
he
but-
could have that whole club shut down.
But you know what? Jax has the police department.
Yeah, but
I-
this housing project
Not like
is also,
that. Not with that much money and power.
With Borowski?
Well, he's a retired ex-cop. August Marks has the current judges. He's got political with. You see what I'm saying? He's got a lot more clout in the community than Jack.
Well, I just thought it set him up for failure by doing that, because the guy's, if he is as powerful as you say he is, and he's not going to fall for that.
No,
I think it was their last move. Go ahead.
I don't think so, because in typical Jack's fashion, what does he always do? He always works it out so everyone wins. So he's got this carrot, and he goes, okay, you can still have your housing project, and we get this. So he's not actually trying to accomplish anything other than kind of muddy the water a little bit and then trade this for that. So if something's going to happen, he's going to go, okay, yep, you're still going to get your housing project, and the club's going to get this. That's what he always does. So he's not trying to shut anything down. It's a little bit of leverage in a different way than just killing people, which brings heat on the club for a guy who has a lot of power and money.
And could ruin their club and take them down.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, if he doesn't know how deep his political ties run. So I think he made the move that bad decision, I agree, but better than no decision, because if he doesn't make a decision, then it's all going to go to hell anyways.
I just think it's trouble. I thought it was
Well-
trouble from the very beginning. I was watching that and I'm going, why the hell are you doing?
Well,
Right.
He definitely
Just,
underestimated
You know,
August Marks.
you and him and the Mayans are sitting here talking about, and in the previous episode, oh, we're going to get him. We're going to do this. Then do it. Don't
Mhm.
put up this BS. It's going to drag on forever.
Right.
And it's going to put your people in trouble, your club, everyone else. And guess what? It does.
Right. And he said that at the table.
It's going to put them in trouble.
Remember that?
Yep.
Oscar Jack said, this is going to, because we're doing this with leverage, it's going to put you at risk. He looked at Bobby, he looked at Tig, remember all them. And he says, this is going to put you and your families at risk. And you have to know, you have to be all in. And they were all like, we're all in, brother.
And guess what? It does.
So did we clean that up good? So everybody knows what's going on. So let me clean unless you want to,
But
Oscar, about the
let me say
affidavit.
Let me say one more thing. He also puts those other people's lives in danger as well.
What other people?
The minister's wife and son.
Well,
by,
I think
by doing this garbage, he's putting their lives, which he doesn't care. He's different than us here, but he doesn't care about those people. He's like,
Well, no, he doesn't,
If they die, they die.
But
we're gonna try to figure this out for ourselves, and we're gonna let them basically take it right now.
we should have
because
had
he's
this discussion at the end of episode 7, because now we're seeing it in light of episode 8. So we're like, all right,
No, we're not.
I don't know. I think it's a better move. It's a move they don't normally make. Normally they just go out and kill people. So I think, he doesn't care about those two, but he's taken the affidavit then that that Mark's threatened to kill him if they don't sign, puts the housing project in jeopardy.
Right.
But he doesn't turn it into anyone. He just has it. So he can take that later and go, look, I'll burn this.
But to think that Marx is going to sign that is you're stupid. To
No,
think that.
no. Marx doesn't have to sign anything.
He doesn't have to sign anything, but he got presented with it, Oscar, because
Right.
so what happened here is she signed an affidavit saying that he threatened them to sell their properties, all this. They gave it to an unknown third party in case she were to get killed, so somebody would always have it to present. They had a picture. They got a picture of the dead body, the dead husband, the pastor, on construction property of the infamous August Marks. So now they have a picture of a dead body of a pastor on his property and an affidavit that's going to leverage him.
Lock him down. Yeah.
Then Jax takes that to Tyler later. Tyler takes that to August Marks.
Right.
That's where everything went to shit.
But it never
Because-
actually went anywhere important.
No,
So
it's
no
just
one else
hanging
knows-
over his head.
Right.
The leverage.
Mm-hmm.
So did I clean that up okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's what's over his head. And that's, like I say, when everything in episode 8, which, we're going to get a little deeper here, everything goes to shit because August did not likey. I know a likey.
It didn't work.
I know likey.
At the end of this episode, you
Right.
find out he's like,
Correct.
you're stupid.
Right.
Yeah, it
with
didn't
with Bobby's
You have
eyeball.
nothing.
Mhm.
Yep.
Very good. Let's talk about this foreshadowing.
Vorskinen.
Foreskinning. Okay. And that is with Abel, because we know that, do you remember this scene? He was, Abel was at the door, and this is right before Gemma had to go to the cabin to take care of the junkie, before she got called to the cabin. Abel is at the door. It's cracked. Gemma is in with Thomas holding him. She thinks she's going to the cabin to die, and she's preparing with her pistol. And she tells Tara, killing your mommy was an accident. It was such an awful accident.
She tells the baby.
That's what I say. She tells Thomas.
Tara.
Abel.
You said Tara.
I'm sorry. Jeez.
Thomas.
Sorry. Yes. Thank you.
I
get
think
talking.
she was holding Thomas.
She was
looking at Tara.
That could be.
Right.
That
Right.
could be.
Yeah. Good call. So yes. So Abel's at the door. She's in there. She's talking to Thomas, holding him, saying, and these are her exact quotes, killing your mommy was an accident. It was such an awful accident. She's crying. And she says, I didn't want to kill her. I didn't mean it. And of course, Abel hears all this
Well, what's
stuff.
funny about that is, as she's starting to, I knew she was going to tell the baby, because she starts saying, everyone that watches the show is like, yeah, she's going to say that. And then they were talking to, I think Wendy had been talking to the boy,
Thomas or Abel.
Abel, and sends him. And I knew she had sent him to his room as they pan into when Gemma is talking to the baby. And I'm like, you know what? He's going to hear this.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to hear it. Sure enough, there he is peeking
And
around
God
the
bless
door.
you, Kurt Sutter, for that.
peeking around the door.
What?
For letting
This kid.
Abel here.
I'm telling you, my wife made a good prediction at the very beginning of the season. It's going to be. They're going to do another offset to this with Abel being the president of the club.
But now we know who sold out the club to the Chinese.
Abel?
Duh.
Just kidding.
Duh.
Give me my crayons back. This is what happened.
Nice.
Oh,
So, did you guys see now Abel's hearing this. He's starting, we know, through the seasons, or not the seasons, but this season he's becoming a bit more violent.
Mm-hmm.
He's having some tendencies. And what Chewy is talking about, the prediction that we made at the very beginning of the season, his wife made him, and he brought it to the show here, is that we're going to see somewhere at the very end of everything, whether Jax dies and everybody dies, Abel is going to be at the head of that table with the gavel.
Which is exactly what Jax does not want.
But how can he expect him not to turn out like that?
He's a horrible dad.
Oh
He's
my
not
God,
even
he
a
doesn't
dad,
even spend
dude. Time with him.
He's not a dad.
He never spends time with him.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's not a dad.
Comes in when something happens and he gets a call. Oh, comes and rubs the kid's head. Hey, you want to talk about it? Kid doesn't even know the guy. Oh, are you my dad? Should I tell you?
Are you my dad?
Yeah, should I tell you?
Totally, man. Totally agree. Not a good father figure. Here is what I want to wrap up on this little deal. And I watch the episode. I take notes. I watch the next Tuesday. I watch it, take notes.
Mm-hmm.
Then last night I go back and watch both of them again. Because I need to wrap.
Yeah, it's important to do that.
And
I
I
miss stuff.
You do, and I come up with all this stuff. So
shut it.
What?
So Gemma says, this is in episode 8. This was last night. Now remember, in episode 8, Abel went to school. He hit a kid over the head with a lunchbox, beat the kid up pretty bad, unprovoked, no real reason. Gemma goes to the school to pick him up. She has a little verbal argument with the teacher, who is Courtney Love.
Yeah.
Right? She just looks terrible.
She does look terrible.
They tried to fix her up as good as they can, but she looks like somebody hit her on the face with a 2x4.
I was watching her talk, and it's almost like she had like a
stroke.
A stroke.
Yeah.
Her side of her face, the way her lips, the way she talks, and her chin, it's like she had a stroke.
Well,
Like a
when you use
heroin
that much,
stroke.
yeah, it is. When you use that much drugs, it kills off like a stroke. It kills off so much brain.
Yeah.
She has been ridden hard and put up wet. Just gonna say, dude. And they tried to fix her up as good as they can. She looks like hell still. All right, enough trashing on her. But Gemma, is making excuses. Oh, he wouldn't do it if he wasn't provoked and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, here's what I'm getting at. She gets home, and of course they call Jax and all that on what happened. She sits down with Abel, this scene that I want to set up. She sits down with Abel and she says, this was her quote, Gemma says, "Do you know what an accident is?"
Yes.
He looks at her and he says, "Do you?"
That was all. And see,
where did that come from, though?
I just put it together now because she heard him. She heard Gemma telling Thomas it was a terrible accident, and then I didn't put it together till you did right now.
Okay, good.
No. And then during that whole speech, she says that to the other little child,
Thomas.
It was an accident. It was an accident. I'm sorry.
Yep.
And he heard that.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what an accident is?
That's awesome.
It didn't come to me till last night at the very end, and I looked at my notes between two, and I put it together. I'm like, I came to a light, and I was like, oh my God, he said exactly, because I didn't understand that scene because it was kind of weird why he would just go, "Do you?" I was like, that is a weird line.
It was out of place.
It was.
Nope, because he heard her say that.
And that's
I
why
didn't go episode to episode that way though. I just didn't remember.
Right.
So
yeah.
I'm glad you did that because ooh.
Yeah, so they get, because all these scenes with him are for a reason, and they seem kind of out of place at times, but now it's starting, man, they're really building his character, little Abel. They're really starting to, we haven't seen a lot of him, but they're really building his character.
Very much.
He needs some character though, because he just kind of sits there and stares.
Well, he's a young boy.
Like
dude.
he's autistic
He's a
or
kid,
something.
a young kid.
I know. So let's move on to this whole Mr. Greensleeves things, which I still don't get. I do get that he, was basically charging the dead pastor's wife money because he had video cell phone footage of her late husband doing sexual acts with young boys. And she told Jax about that, and she was out of money. She couldn't pay him anymore. The only thing I can think is that pissed Jax off, and he wanted to help her and show his loyalty to her for getting her to sign that stuff.
Well, whoa, hold on.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
What's wrong with you two? It's only been like 10 minutes since we played the clip. Because she says she would sign the affidavit, but her credibility is worthless.
Right.
Because of that guy's videos with her and her son in the
yeah.
background.
Yeah,
So
but I mean,
they spent a lot of time on it because it was important for the affidavit, but I don't think I didn't equate the time with the importance. Just they spent a lot of time on it. But the whole point of them doing that is so that if they get that phone with the videos on it and destroy it, then the affidavit's good. Then her credibility's good because she's not in the background with her son.
no, you're right. But they spent I guess, I don't know. I agree with him. And they spent a lot of time on that.
Cool
That
action
actually-
scene, I guess.
But you're right. It was awesome. That scene was sweet. It was.
So that does bring it in perspective for me, Oscar. I appreciate that. I wasn't really thinking about that, Chewy. He's right. The whole reason for that scene, I was like, they're going after him. I get it. He wants to show his loyalty to her, that he's going to help her, get her to sign the affidavit. But you're right. Duh. The whole reason, Oscar, was, that she had that cell phone footage and she would have no credibility with that affidavit if that footage were to get out, right?
Right.
Wow.
No, he's right.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't, and that's what I'm saying. You need 3 people in here to make the, to make the connections like that. Like I made the one with, Abel and saying, you know, but that's what I'm saying, dude. Totally. So now I know why they spent so much time. Yeah. So they obviously got the Mr. Greensleeves, ended up, running over one of their bikes, if I remember right, trying to get out of there. And then didn't they bring one of the whores, the street hooker there, and giving her a job at Diosa, telling her they could get her out of there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they got her to cooperate.
Right, because she was kind of fighting. All right,
And she was like, who's gonna be my
my friend?
yeah.
I need a friend.
No,
pimp? Yeah, right.
and they're like, no one's your pimp.
So they end up at his apartment, chase him back down there, and I think he gets killed. They throw him through a glass window, and he had a piece of glass in his back. But they found his phone, recovered the video, right, Oscar?
Simone.
So we're all good now.
We're good.
As far as the the whole affidavit thing and her credibility and all that. So let's move on. I think that's the end we're going to see of Mr. Greensleeves.
Yes.
I don't think he's going to come back. I don't think anything is going to come of that, really. Did you guys see this scene where it's the end, and it's the end of episode 7, and Sam Crow is all riding their bikes, dude, and the Mayans are waiting for him.
Side by side, really? Wow.
It was like a scene from Chips, dude.
Yeah.
Well, they were all riding. Chips was riding side by side with Jax, and then they meet up with the Mayans. They back up, and they let what's his name,
Alvarez,
the president. He comes up besides Jax, and they take off. And I'm thinking they're gonna do him in. They're gonna do him in. Marks, it's gonna be good.
It's coming.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So they did that whole scene where they're riding and they're now what was funny is you got Jax riding like a street glide special.
Yeah.
You got some there, and then every single one of the Mayans bikes, dude, nothing but the old, Road Kings with apes,
Yep.
dude. Got the big old, just total ghettoed out with the wheels and the white wall tires and shit, dude.
Spoke wheels and apes, buddy.
It just was total cholo, man. It was freaking.
Those guys are pretty cool, though. Actually,
well, they are. It's just funny how
it is. Yeah,
how the show,
how they portray it.
They didn't stereotype anyone there.
right? That's what I'm getting at. That's exactly what I'm getting at.
That's funny.
Yep, no stereotyping there. So tying up that episode, let's talk about, we get introduced, all the guys are waiting, right? The Mayans ride with them. They're waiting at a little park with a picnic table. This new guy, the character that they introduce is Moses Cartwright. Moses Cartwright is the head now of Mark's security team, his personal security team, and he shows up with that box. Here's where we're going to talk about Bobby a little bit, and we can just get right into Bobby's predicament.
They show up, and it almost makes it like Mark's targeted Bobby, because he knows that Bobby is the last Redwood original. He is the very last.
In episode 8, he says why he targets
He's
Bobby.
the very last one, and he knows it would hurt him the most.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And also, he's the smartest.
He is.
Yeah, that's
He
what
is
he
the
tells him.
smartest.
He tells him in
And he
episode
does tell
8.
him that. He does. You're
Yeah.
right.
Before we get into Bobby and the holding cell and all that, we'll just say that's when they brought him the eyeball. And this is where Jax really knows. Game.
I was watching it, and I'm like, because we'd already seen what they did.
Right.
That they got him, and I was like, they're gonna kill him. And then they show up, and the guy shows up at the park.
Moses Cartwright.
Yep, Moses Cartwright. And once he leaves, before he leaves, I'm like, because we had already seen what he did. He got Bobby. I'm like, grab him, I'm like,
Mhm.
I wish their club would have grabbed the guy, not let him leave until they saw what was in the box. But they let him go, and then they get into the box. And
Yep. In the box is the iPad of Bobby being tortured and his eye cut out. And there's a little iPad playing a video. And good on him for using an iPad. And also, I had to throw that in. And also his eyeball. And yeah, so this is when everything got set up for episode 8.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Moses Cartwright a little bit.
Wait, because I have a bone to pick with Kurt Sutter.
Pick the bone.
Okay, can we have not every villain and every cool guy in every movie be special ops? I'm just saying.
You're right.
Could Kurt could have come up with like, hey, Moses is just a really bad dude and likes killing people. Instead, what is he? Special ops.
Right.
Like, really, he's a thug now.
A
How does that
veteran.
how does that translate? I don't understand. I'm like, Kurt, really? But then he takes a little political poke. Former Blackwater.
Yeah.
I was like,
I heard that too.
way to go, Kurt Sutter. Little political poke for the world there, buddy.
Yep. Blackwater being one of the largest government contractors for
yeah.
overseas stuff. So yeah, this Moses Cartwright, they talk about a little bit in episode 8. Yeah, former Blackwater, he's former special ops, he's a veteran, so he's got all kinds of this special training. Obviously, August has money to throw at this problem, which is exactly what Jax was talking about.
Yep.
So we do see Moses a little bit later. So let's set it up. We're going to roll right into both episodes, but Bobby is driving the red Wationstagen. That's what we used to call her. We had a Wationstagen like that.
Bobby's headed to the cabin?
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah, right.
So they must have been watching him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were following him.
And why did they target Bobby?
I'm telling you why, because
he's the smartest guy.
Yep, they say that.
And
the most reasonable.
He's the last Redwood original that there is in that club.
Let's see how many times Chewy
that
says
should be our mic check.
You got to say Redwood Original. That'll be his new mic check.
Redwood Original.
No, do it again.
Redwood Original.
Hey,
use your words.
No, but I think that's why they know that this taking Bobby out of it is going to affect them the most.
Absolutely.
It really is.
You're right.
And it'll get them to submit. It'll get Jax to submit to whatever they want.
Right. And Moses Cartwright tells him to his face that, which Oscar did bring up, is that they told him, we picked you because you are you hold the club together.
Yep.
By taking you, it gives the biggest impact.
He's the last guy that formed that play.
Bobby's also the voice of reason.
Yes. And he says that, doesn't he, Oscar?
Yeah, he tells him that, yeah.
Mhm.
You're the smartest and you're the voice of reason.
I got to say, that kind of upset me at the end of that episode when I saw that.
What
they did to him.
Oh, with his fingers or?
Well, no. That was episode 8.
I know. We're in both. Which
episode?
The eyeball?
Episode 7. Yeah, when they're watching the iPad and watching, and Bobby's screaming. I was like, oh, that really sucks.
Bobby's a lover. He's a lover.
He is. And he's an Elvis impersonator.
He's a total pot smoking hippie dude.
Right. And he's a hippie.
So
he did screw Otto's wife.
Yeah.
Messed
well,
up, but
what are you gonna do?
I like Bobby.
I
really
do too. So let's talk about him. He's in this. They take him in the red station wagon, the Lampoon station wagon is what I call it. Dude, it goes off a jump just like the Lampoon's Vacation. That's what it reminded me of, dude.
Yeah, you're right. It's
National Lampoon. Did it have the wood paneling?
Yes.
Yes, it had the same station wagon.
How did GM think that wood paneling was okay?
Dude, you have not lived unless you've owned a car with wood on it. And we owned one when I was a kid, dude, and it was we used to call it Galactica or something, dude. It was a big old Wationstagen. Oh, that fit Bobby well. So he gets taken to that holding cell. Of course, they're using Bobby. They've got him in a really pretty secretive place.
Yep, they don't know. The other club doesn't. The club doesn't know where he's at.
No, and neither does Tyler, and he's got his guys on it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Tyler's lying.
Double agent time.
I agree. I'm just not trusting Tyler.
That guy. I don't trust him.
I'm not trusting him.
Nope.
Because even Tyler says, I don't know how long I can play double agent anymore.
No, he's
right.
He's giving information. He's
He playing both sides.
Yeah, he is.
I agree. All right, let's move a little bit deeper. So they've got Bobby in the holding cell, Moses Cartwright and his clan there, and they're torturing him and playing mind games with them and all that kind of stuff. All right, so episode 8 we've talked about a little bit, but it did air October 28, 2014. It was titled The Separation of the Crows. I wonder if that had anything to do with the dead birds.
It had to be.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, I was thinking of Jury.
Me too. But were her birds crows? Did she have crows in
No,
the
they
freaking
weren't.
cage?
They couldn't be crows.
I don't know, dude. I'm not
Maybe
good with my
They were
birds.
too small to be crows.
No, I think they were crows.
They were too small.
I
Crows are
don't
big.
know.
And I don't know for sure, but
If you know what kind of birds those are, please call us 509-731-3548
Or tweeter us right now.
Yeah, well, they can't because they're not hearing it right now, bro.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought they were supposed to tweeter us.
They are, but they aren't hearing us right now.
Dang it.
Yeah, see, we're recording this,
Why
Oscar.
don't you tweeter it out?
This will be out tomorrow morning.
I know, but tweeter it out and see if someone will come back to us.
I'm gonna post something on
Do it.
Sworn Few.
Is that is like Tweeter like the CB, like
No, it's Twitter.
You twit
and not titter. Twitter.
you tweet and then someone tweets back like you tweet Breaker19 and then
Oscar,
someone comes
it's
back.
just like Facebook except easier. Even you can do it.
Easy.
So
now.
Jackson Chibs have a talk on top of their building. Remember that? There's a couple scenes where they're sitting on top of the building having some deep talks.
Yeah.
And this is when, Jax is really telling him. This is getting into episode 8 real deep last night. And Jax is having second thoughts now that he's got the eyeball in the box and realizes that Bobby's he's a captive and being tortured and whatnot. He says August is smart. He has no vulnerabilities, no family, nobody close to him, which is huge when you're talking about street thug life, right?
Right.
If you don't have family and stuff to worry about and all you have to do is worry about yourself, you pretty much don't have a lot of vulnerabilities.
And they tried the leverage and that didn't work out so well.
No, that's why we ended up where we are.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, Chibs does spur him on to keep going with things. Chibs is trying to give him the old, fourth quarter pep talk.
What does he say? We need our fucking leader?
Something like that. Yeah, exactly. And so he's getting it from or he's getting it from Chibs to stay the course and keep going. Now, let's play a little soundbite. This is where Tyler sits down with Jax, and we talked a little bit about it, guys, about Tyler, saying, hey, I don't know how long I can play double agent and all that. Let's listen in.
Mm-hmm. So, you talked to Marks?
Just his new commando leader.
What do we know about Moses Cartwright?
Ex-military, special ops, Blackwater graduate. So was his team.
Shit, that's a serious resume. What is August one?
What do you think he was? The dead pastor and his family. That photo and statement set him on fire, man. I never seen him do nothing like this before. And Moses said, for every 24 hours August has to wait, he's gonna cut off another part of your guy. That means you got until the end of the day.
Jesus Christ. We need to find out where they're holding Bobby.
Already got my guys on it, scoping out Pope's office buildings and construction sites.
What about the safe houses? Pope had a couple outside Oakland.
Yeah, those got compromised a while back.
All right. Thank you.
I'm with you on Marks, Jax, but I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to keep playing double agent.
Niners are the only ones that can get us close to Marks, so we can get Bobby back.
Yeah, I know. But with this new kill squad on the street, they're going to put it together that I'm helping you.
There's no half in, Tyler. You want business after Marks, we do this together, or you're on your own.
All right. I'll let you know when we find out.
So I agree with you. Tyler he's getting cold feet.
No, he's been given information. He's giving information to Marks.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows, and he doesn't want to get killed by the club.
Oh, he's playing both sides.
Oh, big time.
Yep. I think he was all in at some point with Jax. I really do in his mind, but now he sees how powerful Marks is. Tyler's going to go with whoever he thinks more is powerful.
Sure.
He's a weasel like that, in my opinion. He's going to go with whoever he thinks is going to be the top dog at the end of the day. And now he's realizing Marks ain't effing around.
Yep.
And he's probably going to take out Jackson. So he's trying to keep, I agree, Oscar, trying to keep alliances with both fair.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else about that little discussion, guys? I think it was pretty self-explanatory here. So here is a great scene, and this is where Cartwright sits down with Bobby. And this was last night.
Yes.
Now it was
very good.
It was a long conversation, so I kind of just did the end of it, and then we can have a little bit of discussion. Let's listen in.
We've narrowed it down to 4 possible construction sites. However, it would be a bit time-consuming and conspicuous to go bulldozing acres of city land looking for a body. Maybe you accidentally put your cigarette out on the right location. We get what we want, and we can all go home and sleep in our own beds.
You took my eye out. I didn't tell you anything. You think this little Twinkie Dinky heart-to-heart will push me your way?
I hope so. I know how important it is for members to ride. I'd hate to see you lose that clutch hand.
You're right. This is about war. And maybe tomorrow, next month, maybe 10 years from now, someone wearing a Reaper will cut your heart out.
Give me the location of the pastor, and just maybe you'll be the one holding the knife.
You think this little Twinkie Binky heart to heart is going to push me your way? I love it, dude.
Bobby's awesome. Pretty
Powerful scene. Now, what the Moses Cartwright was doing there is handing him a map, or not a map, but like 6 locations, because they don't want to dig up the whole city looking for this body, and Marks definitely wants to get that body off his property.
Which means the leverage is working.
Right. I don't know if the leverage is working as much.
It didn't go perfectly, but it means it's working.
Well, I don't know, because Marks isn't bending. He actually didn't bend at all. He took the head of his security team, grabbed Bobby, cut his eyeball out. Every 24 hours they don't, he's going to cut off another part. He cuts off his fingers later in this episode, and it's non-negotiable with Marks. I don't think
But he's worried about it.
Well,
otherwise he wouldn't have done all that.
Well, he should be worried, dude. Right. They've got a signed affidavit that he wants. They've got, they've got the picture of the dead body on his property. So yeah, I think he's worried about it, but I don't think it's leveraged him to negotiate. I think that's what
that was the original intent.
Thank you.
But it hasn't. Okay, so that portion of it hasn't worked.
Nothing's worked.
But it will. It will.
You think so?
I think so,
dude. I don't think that August Marks is going to bend for shit.
No. But the body's still out there. He's worried that there's a body on one of these sites,
and they're going to kill Bobby because Jax isn't going to give it up.
Well, there's collateral damage, but in the end, that's enough. And so Jax didn't see Marks pushing back that far or pushing back that hard, but the leverage is working.
Okay. I like your insight.
I don't think so.
Go ahead. Give us
don't fall out of your chair.
No, I don't think
you got to give us your insight on that. Why not?
No, he's too powerful.
Okay. I agree. I'm going to have to side with Chewy on this one. I think that he's got Bobby. He's already cut off a couple body parts. Jax doesn't know where he is. Cartwright tells Bobby when they're talking, they're face to face. He says, "Unfortunate for you, your president or Jax thought that this was negotiable right before they cut off his fingers."
Right. Yeah.
He goes, "Apparently your president thought this was negotiable."
But what's weird is he gave him the information he wanted.
Who gave him the information?
Jax. He gave him the information of the body.
No,
yes, he made contact.
Right.
He called him. But I thought Jax said in that episode, tell him where the body is.
Right. And here's what happened. That's a great point, and here I'll clean it up. What happened was Jax gave him the location of the body, but the conditions of that were don't touch the pastor's wife and their son.
Right.
And that's when August, and then we go to the scene where Cartwright's ready to cut his fingers off. He goes, it's all good. We got some information, but unfortunately, your president still thinks this is negotiable. So because of that, we're still going to cut your fingers off.
That guy's going to die.
What guy?
That guy that just
Cartwright.
Yeah, to Bobby. He'll die.
Well, he will, but
he's going to die.
Right, but is before Bobby's dead and a couple other club members? Or?
No, Bobby will probably die.
They make an automatic motorcycle. You don't need a clutch for.
That's what I'm saying. Bobby's going to be. Here's what I see: Bobby on a trike with a foot clutch. And
that's horrible.
They actually make one of those hydrostatic transmissions for bikes now. I forget what it's called.
But you know what? Hey, give it up to Bobby. He's like, screw you guys. Screw you.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Somebody tomorrow, next year,
a month,
10 years,
or 10 years from now,
somebody wearing a Reaper is going to cut your heart out.
And he's right.
He is.
They are going to get him.
But we don't have 10 years because it's the last season.
Right. What they have is 24 hours, and every 24 hours that Jax doesn't come through. So basically, Jax is going to have to, if he wants to make this right, he's going to have to give the affidavit. He's obviously going to have to give the body. He's going to have to give the pastor's wife up and her son. He's going to, Marks is sending a clear message that this is not negotiable. You will do what I say, or I will cause major carnage in your life. And we go back to breaking into the house, which I believe, and
no son
putting
is safe.
fear in
Right.
his in Gemma, in the kids. I know where your kids are. I can get in your house. I can, kill the birds was a sign. An MO, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh. And
There you
No,
go.
he's right.
Whoa.
No, yeah.
So that's enough about Cartwright and Bobby. We know his condition, and we know at the end he gets his fingers cut off. We know that at the very end of the episode they're on the roof again, and that was a funny scene where they're all the box gets brought up by Tiggy. He sets it on an air
And
conditioning.
they know what it is.
Yeah.
So they don't even look at it.
What if it wasn't Bobby's fingers? What if? Because they never opened it. And I'm just arguing for sake of argument. They never opened it. What if in that box was something that they needed to see that August was backing off? Wouldn't that be funny,
But
dude?
no, they will open an event. They will know what happened.
How do you know that?
Because he's Chewie.
Well, the end.
Is this your prediction?
Okay, if one of you guys had been captured by somebody, you're damn right. I'm going to open that up to see.
But they didn't. And we got to go with what the show showed.
Okay, on the show they didn't. In this next episode, they will know. They will have opened it up. They will know.
So that's your
That
prediction.
he got his fingers cut off.
And I'm just saying, for discussion purposes, they never opened it.
Nope, they didn't. You're
And
right. But
wouldn't it be funny if that was actually something very important and not Bobby's fingers, and it actually was something from Marks to make some sort of deal?
Yeah.
How funny would that be?
That's your prediction.
What?
That's your prediction.
Oh, I'm
basically saying
That's funny,
Kurt Sutter
though.
hired Chewie to help write the show. 'Cause
Right.
He's like the most expert of anyone I've ever
Boy.
met.
I know. He's awesome.
No, I think.
I just
that
like bringing
could
up
be
discussion.
that's a twist to it, right?
Right. Because I pick up on little things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, I know they didn't open it, and that's funny that they didn't open it. And we all think it's fingers, but how awesome would that be? Next episode, they actually finally open it.
Well, and we saw him.
and are like,
we saw him cut Bobby's fingers off.
No, you saw him start to cut Bobby's fingers, and then Bobby screamed. That was it.
They cut his fingers off.
Dude, Kurt Sutter's twisted a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So our host may be right on this one.
I don't know. I like bringing up things that I see that are good for discussion here on the show. So Jackson Crew, talk with that guy, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but they talk about Gib O'Leary. Now remember, Gib O'Leary, they find out, is the son of Jury White. Jury White is the president of the Indian Hills.
Yes.
And they killed, remember he called him his muscle
Mm-hmm.
when they took down the Chinese. Do you remember this, Oscar?
Can we clear up the predictions and say who was right and who was wrong?
Yeah. Let's talk about, I do want to talk about that. Let's set that. We got,
You don't have to raise your hand.
we got to set this up for the audience though, because
yeah.
remember, a lot of people tune in and they got to know what we're talking about first. So let's lay the foundation. So Gib O'Leary is the son of Jury White, who's the president of the Indian Hills chapter. He was involved with with the takedown of the Chinese. There was two men there at that time, and Jury referred to them as his local muscle. Now, after the Chinese takedown, of course, Jax and Chibs, and I think Tiggy was there, they go back to meet these two guys at their apartment or house to give them some money because they wrecked their truck during the takedown. And instead, they shoot the guys, set them up with some heroin, and they leave a shotgun to try to make it look like it was a drug deal gone bad. Well, that shotgun was the exact shotgun that Jury used during the takedown, and he finds the shotgun, realizes that that this was Jax's crew that killed these guys. He cries over the one boy. He's very emotional. We all start to believe that obviously this is some connection of this, of him, more personal than just being muscle. Some of the predictions were it's his son. That was your prediction. Mine was it's a gay lover. And
that was a good prediction though.
Well,
knowing Kurt Sutter, that wasn't that far off.
Right. When you see Venus with a penis and stuff, Let's stop there and talk about the prediction. They track down, they go to that white trash house. There's a couple white trash people.
They track down where his family is, supposedly.
Where his mother is.
Where his mother is on this farm. So they go out there. They get off their bikes and they start to approach the house and they start getting shot at by a semi-automatic rifle, like an M16.
I think it is an M16.
None of them get hit. It's as many rounds as they're getting fired at.
Of course.
It's yeah. And they had it behind the truck. They're yelling at him, "Hey, we're not here to hurt you. We just want to talk. We want to talk." Eventually, some kid on a bike rides up, and it's their son, their other son, right?
Yeah.
Rides up on a bike, gets off. One of them grabs the kid, holds him at gunpoint, says, "Hey, we just want to talk." Jax gets out from behind the truck, says, "Hey, we just want to talk to you. We don't want any trouble." And they have the kid. So then eventually those people come out, these white trash, freaking bucktooth varmint people.
Awesome.
Come out, and they give the kid back. And so then that's when they start talking.
But you skipped over a very important thing here.
Go ahead.
The morals of the club. Because this kid's what, 20, maybe 18, and the dad's roughing him up, and Tig fires a shot into the door.
That's later though. Oh no,
it
you're
is.
right. You're right. Yeah,
Tig,
yeah. Tig is a loose cannon, and
yeah, but he's not. He says, "Don't hurt him again" or something like that.
Yeah, they're pissed off.
Random.
Tig gets the family of this kid, who the club is there to see. The man and the woman. The man gets mad at the son because the son came riding up and basically took them out of the gunfight and out of the chance to kill these guys. And so the stepdad's mad. So as he goes in, Tig starts shooting at the stepdad, because the stepdad's whacking the kid on the head.
You button hooked me. I didn't know you were going to button hook me.
And so the club's like looking at Tig like, "What are you doing?" And Tig's like, "Hit him again.
Yeah. Hey,
see what happens." And the club's like, "No,
that was
put
awesome.
it down." And he does. So yeah, that was good.
And it was a good shot.
And so he talks to this mother, right, of Gib O'Leary,
White
who we know.
trash.
Yep. Total. They were awesome. They white trash. They find out that Gib O'Leary, that's her son, the guy that's with her, the white trash guy, is his stepdad. We find out finally that Gib O'Leary's dad is Jerry White, president of the Indian Hills chapter. Admits it to Jax. Jax obviously has that look on his face like,
"Oh shit."
Yeah.
Who didn't see that coming?
But you know, when they first discussed coming out, and I don't remember exactly, but they were talking about finding this person and coming out there, but it just made it sound like, and I was believing your prediction at that time, early in the show when they talked about where we're going to find this person. I thought, well, it is, and somebody had discussed, the guy they paid the money,
the bounty hunter,
they paid the money to.
That's who they went and talked to. Sorry,
it almost made it sound like, you know what, this guy is his gay lover. At first,
the
I thought
way
that.
he presented the info,
I'm like,
was
you know what,
oh.
Ryan was right.
Because they
He was
said,
right.
his dad's name popped up, and it was this guy or whatever, and you're like, oh, that's not Jury.
Yep, and I'm like, you know what, Ryan was right. It's his gay lover.
Here's my argument with the writing on this, and I usually like how Kurt writes. This is dumb to me. This still doesn't make any sense at all. Kate, we find out later, which we'll play a sound clip in a bit. Remember Jury and Jax meet in the desert, right?
Yes.
Okay. Through that conversation, which we'll talk about a little bit more here in a bit, we find out that Jury hasn't seen him for 20 years. He just got out. He's trying to know him.
Seen him twice. Or
Right.
Something like that.
I absolutely can't wrap my head around this writing, which is just poor to me. Why would Jury my argument is, why would Jury not tell the club that was his son? There is no reason still to hide that fact.
There's something else.
It's weird. Maybe he's ashamed of his son. Maybe his son is
He
gay.
didn't say that.
Maybe his son is gay.
He didn't say that though to Jax.
No, there's something else. There has to be, because I was thinking that when I was watching it. I'm like,
What is the
who gives a
purpose?
crap?
No, you're right. It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense that he wouldn't tell them, because in the conversation with Jackson, he goes, "I didn't know you were going to kill him." And Jackson's like, "Well, I didn't know it was your son.
Right. I just think that
You didn't tell me it was your son."
What does Jury someday go, "Ha, I got you good.
Yeah,
that was my boy, but I hid it from you the whole time. I was just fucking around."
That doesn't make any sense.
Seriously?
Yeah, I don't. There's something else. So maybe it is those two in the apartment.
They're gay.
They're gay, and Jury was
He didn't want to tell him.
right. And the way for him to bond with his kid is to kind of bring him into the
Yeah,
fold.
and he
a
didn't
little
want to
bit.
tell him.
How are we ever going to know that though? Because the son's dead and Jury's dead, and they're done talking to mom.
No, but I think Gemma will probably talk to the dishes again and tell us.
Oh, geez. I just honestly, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I can't.
I was thinking the same thing.
I can't wrap my head around this little writing line. Why, in anybody's mind, would he hide that that's his son, legit son?
I don't think it's bad writing it.
I
there's
think
something else in store. For
There
us.
is. I think maybe he's gay.
Kurt Sutter's no idiot.
Let's
And he's
say
embarrassed.
but we didn't hear that, and we're never going to find that out because
Maybe we will, though.
how? Who's going to say that? Because Jury's dead, his son's dead, and they're done talking to mom.
Oh, and the other dude's dead too.
And the other dude's dead. So how would they ever bring that back out in an episode?
Maybe the vice president of that Indian Hills.
There you go.
Who knows? I don't know.
Why wouldn't the vice president come out at that point and say, "Oh yeah, everyone's dead now. Who cares?"
Right. The reason he was doing
Yeah.
that, I just can't wrap my head around it. We'll have to wait and
You're
see.
right.
So we know after that little conversation with the mom and all that, and they've put all this stuff together now, you can see Jax come to the conclusions, and they talk about it as they leave. And Chibs is saying, yeah, so we know who ratted us now.
Yep.
We know who ratted us. It's Jury. And
Well, they make us. Jack says, "Get him on the phone. Tell him to meet me."
right, because they want to set up a meeting, tell him it's just he and his VP, that we need to talk about a triad situation to try to, lure him out in the desert in the middle of nowhere. And
And
obviously,
you think Jury would have more sense than that.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know that he knows
he's got the
yet.
president of a mother chapter
Yeah.
telling him we got triad problems.
And I don't know that he...
Which they meet like that all the time.
Yeah, and I don't know that he thinks Jack's put everything together yet.
Exactly. He didn't think Jax was
If
ever going to find
all
out.
this happened, I mean, come on.
But you can tell during the conversation between he and Jax, he goes, you're going to hear it here in a sec, but you better, before you throw allegations like that, you better have your facts. He goes, I know Gibbler is your son. And you could see Jury go like, how the F did you ever find that out?
Oh, shit.
So I don't think Jury thought that was going to
Yeah,
go
you're
down.
right.
All right, so let's listen in. This is where they meet in the desert. Of course, it's just Jury and his VP, and then you got Sam Crow. And this was a long conversation, so I kind of cut in at the mid section of it, so to speak. But let's see what we got here.
This isn't about the triads. Someone gave us up to Lin. Gave up the location of our Chinese guns. That's why West was killed. Our girls slaughtered.
Someone.
You were the only other one who knew the location of that warehouse.
You better have all your facts before you throw that kind of accusation at me.
I know Gib O'Leary was your son. You should have come to us.
I didn't know you were going to kill two innocent men. That shotgun you used? The same one I used during the Chinese firefight. I didn't race Gib. I only saw him twice in 20 years. He looked me up when he got back from Iraq. We were just getting to know each other. None of my guys knew he was my son, and I didn't say anything about finding him dead.
You should have told me. Ratting us out to the Chinese. That only made things worse.
I wanted you dead, Jackson. But I'm no rat. I didn't tell Lynn shit.
I don't believe that.
So what now? You gonna gun me down without a mayhem vote? Is that who you are now?
Don't try and put this on me, Jury. You're the one who betrayed the patch.
You had the chance to be something good for this club. Something your old man always wanted. But you turned into everything he hated. You became the poison. The reason he checked out.
Checked out of what?
I was the only one JT trusted at the end.
You weren't even a member of the club back then.
That's why. I knew the life, but I didn't wear his patch. I was just a friend, a safe ear.
So what did he tell you?
John couldn't live with what the club had become, but he also couldn't bring himself to take it down.
Take it down how?
He wrote some kind of book. I never read it, but whatever was in it, if it would have gotten out, would have destroyed the sons and tore apart his family. What do you think happened to your old man that day out on 580?
Clay sabotaged his bike.
Yeah, we heard those rumors. But there was one thing that didn't hook up for me. That panhead was an extension of John. He would have known if anything was wrong with it the second he kicked it over.
Meaning what? You think my old man ran into that semi on purpose?
I don't know. Maybe it was his sacrifice. A way of letting his club and family survive.
My old man didn't kill himself.
It doesn't matter. As long as he ain't here to see what Sam Crow did to you.
Hey.
And we all know what happens there. He ended up shooting him. He punched him. and they went to the ground, or jury did, and then he tried to pull a gun, right?
That puts a really big twist on things, man.
A big twist.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, this is a lot was revealed. It gives us a lot to think about, a lot to chew on here. Obviously, the book he was talking about is the journals that Jack's been reading.
Mhm.
Fair?
Yep.
Okay. So they talk about, that he was obviously close to John. He wasn't a member of the club at that time. He talks about the boy, Gib, and that he was just getting to know him, right?
Mhm.
He hadn't seen him for 20 years.
Yeah, I'd only seen him twice or something like that.
Right.
Mhm.
And obviously Jax is pissed because, regardless if it was a boy, jury should have told him who it was if he was somebody close. So you can kind of see Jax, double thinking.
And see, this is where he says, jury says, I didn't tell any of my club members. No one knows.
Right.
So
Why?
I'm thinking this kid he's gay.
And you might
so
be right.
part
but-
of your little prediction,
right,
was right.
Gay lover.
I think so. I think his son is gay, and he was embarrassed
I
to
guess.
present that information. Didn't want the club to know.
Again,
So, I don't know.
My only argument is we're never going to know that. So it really serves no purpose because there's nobody that would really know that. Now everybody's dead.
Yep.
No, Kurt will tell us somehow.
Okay.
Someone knows.
All right. So I do agree with them.
The mom knows.
The mom, that's what I was just thinking. The mom knows.
Well, yeah, but they're
But
done
how will that
talking with
come
her.
out? Yeah, who knows?
There's got to be a funeral, right?
No, they won't. If they didn't have a funeral for Tara, they're not going to have a funeral. For
No, I predict that one of his buddies from Iraq will show up.
One of whose buddies from Iraq?
Gibbs.
So one of the dead son, Gibbs' buddies from
Will show
Iraq.
up- Yep, will show up
For what?
and tell us why he's gay. I mean, that he's gay.
He'll show up to whose
But
funeral?
what purpose will that have?
To answer this question, because it's going to cause me some damn sleepless nights.
Okay, hold on.
Kurt, if you're listening, you better fix this. Kurt, fix it. Please.
Okay.
That's all I got.
We're running on tangent here. So I like what you're saying, Oscar. Let's reel it in for the audience. What you're talking about. Whose funeral?
Well, I was going to say they haven't had a funeral for Gib yet.
They did not. And the mother explains that to Jax, that that jury called her and said the boy was killed during a deal, during a business deal, and he buried the body, and there was going to be no funeral for secretive reasons.
Yep.
And she cried and said, "I never got a proper burial of my son."
But go
ahead.
What will Jax do?
I don't know.
'Cause
I'm asking you.
That's what I'm saying. There's that little bit of good portion in Jax, and he'll be like, "We need to have a funeral," because now he knows. Oh crap! This wasn't just some random knucklehead.
Are you smoking crack right now?
I wouldn't be this fat if I was
Jesus
smoking
Christ.
crack. Come on. It's going to happen. Let's move on.
Well, no, go ahead. You had a bunch of stuff to say.
I think that was it.
Okay, that's a bunch of stuff. No, if you have more predictions, dude, I like it. I like the discussion. I just
don't think Kurt Sutter's going to leave that question unanswered.
Okay. I think you both are under that opinion, and I just think he didn't think it out very well. I'm going to be the other guy. I'm going to be that guy.
You're that guy right now.
Uh-huh.
Good enough.
So, of course, that president or that VP was pissed.
Yes, he was.
And he said it's going to...
I'm very surprised they didn't smoke him, too.
I know, for being a dick.
I thought that they were going to smoke him just for the reason that he was there and saw what happened. And he's going to go back and it's going to cause turmoil.
The only problem if they smoked him, Chewy, and I thought about this, if they smoked that VP, I guarantee that other people knew the VP.
That they were coming to meet.
Right.
Yes.
And
that was the only thing. But then you could come up with an excuse of we showed up. And when we showed up, these guys were dead.
Right. I mean, yeah, I think there'd be more questions though.
Yeah.
But
now the VP knows.
Right.
And he's pissed. And it's going to cause inner turmoil in that whole organization.
Hence the title of the episode. Wasn't it Separating Crows or something?
Separating Crows, yeah.
Oh, and another.
There you go.
Jake sent us a
tweet? Twit?
No, on Facebook.
Oh, he did?
To the sworn few. He said those
to the
birds,
sworn few, not
those
the...
birds were crows.
Okay, there you go. Oscar.
But he also said that...
Know your birds.
Turbo Little Junior killed the crows.
Yeah, well, yeah, true that. But Jake does know his birds. Jake, shout out. You know your birds.
Tweet.
All right, so let's move on because we got to wind this down, guys.
Okay.
All right, so Unser and Jerry meet in the jail, and Jerry and Juice. Sorry, Unser, Jerry, and Juice. Right, because Juice is in jail.
Right,
and they have an interesting little conversation here. Let's listen in.
My hearing's tomorrow. I'll land in Stockton on the parole violation. I need you to put me in ADSEG.
Why?
I need protection.
From who?
It's a long list.
Why'd you go all cowboy on CHP yesterday?
I don't like cops. Give me the deal in writing before the hearing, and I'll tell you who killed Tara Knowles and Eli Roosevelt.
We already know it was the Chinese.
What you know don't mean shit. It's what you can prove.
And you could give us proof.
Names and the murder weapon.
Well, you're going to have to give us some of that proof to take to the DA. Otherwise, we're just wasting our time here.
Chris Dunn, one of Lynn's guys. There were two of them that did the murders. I'll give you the other name and the location of the weapon once I have my deal.
I'm going to need a few days to...
You have until tomorrow morning.
What the hell was that about? He gives up names for isolation? No plea, no reduced sentence?
This is the MC. Juice betrayed the club. He was a dead man. Jax let him live because he needs him in ADSEG. Henry Lynn's in Stockton. They have him in segregation.
I'm sure they do, yeah.
That's what they're using Juice for. To get to Lynn. Pay for his sins. He kills the chink. Buys his way back into Sam Crow.
I'll see if I can pull a sheet on Dunn. If we can get Gemma to ID him as one of the guys she saw leaving the house, I have to make the deal, Wayne. Put Juice in ADSEG. I can give the DOC a heads up, but we have to put Charming first. Do you think he really knows who killed Tara and Eli?
Yeah.
But see, how is that going to work out? Does Gemma know that?
Know what?
The name of that person that he just gave out?
No, he just...
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're going to go to her and she's going to be like, she's going to give somebody else's name.
Why would they go to... Oh.
They just said in the clip.
Yeah,
that they're going to go to Gemma and clarify what he just said. Give us the name of that person that...
Oh, if Gemma can ID the guy.
Yeah, right. And she's going to be like,
But I think they've talked about this because her and Juice have had...
Oh, that could be. Yeah, you're right.
They would have
that
had
could
to.
Be. That could be.
Got their little cover story, so to speak. Yeah, so he's obviously... his little Weasley voice, just hearing it there pisses me off.
Little pussy. That's what he is.
Because he's always weaseling stuff.
Man,
it drives me nuts, man.
I'm a coward.
Are you talking about Wayne?
No,
No.
Juice.
Wayne Unser is not a coward.
Cancer Wayne. He's awesome.
No, he's a good dude.
Anybody who can fight cancer for 50 years is tough.
What does he tell? What does he tell Jerry?
You know,
I ain't got no other hobbies.
Yeah.
He's up waiting to die.
Yeah. if you watch him and know that he's a good actor because he's playing that pretty well. He's pretty stressed out because he loves Gemma.
Right.
I don't think he likes Jax too much. I don't think he does.
He just likes keeping Jax close so he can get what information that he'll give him. All right. For the audience, they talk a lot about ADSEG there. Do you guys know what that is?
Administrative segregation.
There you go. And basically, for the audience, if you don't know what ADSEG is, it does stand for administrative segregation. It's the placement of prisoners in an isolated unit for the safety and security of the institution, i.e., it can be solitary confinement. And of course, Lynn is in ADSEG. And so Juice, because he's trying to make this false deal, which we know is false, is trying to get his little ass in ADSEG so he can have a shot at killing Henry Lynn.
And in the real world, this would never happen. They
No.
would never put him there because they know what he's going to do.
Yep.
So they would never put him there.
Right.
But in the show, they're going to put him there.
Right. They're going to knowingly. But
Because the show would suck if they didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's going to be good.
And again, we're dealing with Jerry, who's obviously on the take a little bit. And she even says at some point, you know what? We'll notify Department of Corrections. We'll notify DOC of this situation. But at the end of the day, it's all about keeping Charming whole. Yeah. And if he gets killed or Lynn gets killed, so be it. I think it's kind of...
It's going to happen. Lynn's going to die, and then Tully's going to get rid of Juice.
Right. Yep.
Because he will never be part of the club again. Never.
Nope. He just thinks he's got... And did you see how it was great because Unser figured it all out? Did you hear him talk out loud there?
Yep.
I got it. I know why they're using juice because he knew something was up. That they weren't just going
And
to.
he's putting it together though. He goes Juice and Gemma.
Right.
He's putting it together. Something.
See, he
about-
already knows. I already predicted it. He knows already.
that they were involved.
He
in
just
her
can't
death.
prove it.
You're right.
Right.
And he's trying to prove it. Right?
Yep.
Is that fair, Oscar?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
So
So
what does he say? Something doesn't fit.
Because cops think outside the box.
Yep.
They really do.
And he's a thinker. That answer.
He is.
Except for Chibs, he's thinking inside
Chibs
the box.
Chibs is not but Chibs is not a cop. That
Oh,
guy's
true.
a
That's right.
freaking-
He was thinking inside the cop's box.
He was.
Right. Yeah. And he definitely is inside that box. So, Unser does, and I agree, Oscar, I think you hit on it there a little bit, is I remember that scene and Unser says, Gemma and Juice. And he kind of does that,
yeah.
there is something.
There's
and,
a connection.
Right. And now Jerry.
Why? And he says, why is Gemma helping Juice?
And Jerry thinks this case is closed, essentially, right? If
Yeah.
she can cooperate with Gemma, the case is closed. And she tells Unser that during this conversation. We didn't listen to the whole recording,
Yep.
but, and she says something to Unser like, how's it going to be, not being a consultant anymore? And she thinks she can still keep him on. Oscar, that's what you're talking about. He says, what do I have but time? I'm just waiting to die of cancer.
And she wants to keep him on afterwards.
Right. But Unser don't want to leave because he knows that this is not, even at the surface.
And that's what's weird
It's
too,
not
because he
over.
knows Gemma is involved. So
right.
But he's not trying to find out for the police. He's trying to find out for
Yes.
himself. Because what does Wayne do? He collects information and uses it later.
Absolutely, Oscar.
I like Wayne.
Mm-hmm. I
Uncle
agree.
Wayne, Uncle Cancer Wayne.
All right, let's take it out here, guys. And I, of course, for the audience, the listening audience, I'd go back and watch these like 10 times and pause them and take notes because they're just those little snippets.
Oh yeah,
and clips and all that.
Yep.
Did you guys notice, by the way, that Jax in episode 8 was writing a brand new Black Street
Yes,
Glide
I
special?
did. I saw the front of the fairing. I'm like, what? That's a 15. Oh, four.
Well, no, you guys, he was writing that in the other episode too.
You're right.
And I think there was
at least
was it Chibs
Mhm.
was driving the one like mine, the 13.
And Bobby was also writing a brand new Road Glide
Road
special.
Glide.
They get bikes thrown them up by Harley Davidson. God, what a deal, dude. Number
That
one, you're
would
an actor
suck.
getting paid an assload of money, and then you
Right.
get free Harley Davidsons thrown at you.
I'd hate that.
I would too. I'd probably walk off the set. This is freaking ridiculous.
I'd give them all back.
But he's riding that Street Glide special. And if you remember, he had to go out to the desert, and they were talking about it. The one bounty hunter guy goes, "Thank God for Google Maps."
Right.
And he
Yes.
hands him a Google Map.
Yep.
Well, let me tell you, Jax did not have to have Google Maps. You want to know why? On that 2014 Street Glide special is something they call the Boombox Infotainment
Bam.
System. hmm So he used his Boombox Infotainment System with integrated GPS to find the location of those white trash people that ended up shooting at him.
Yep.
And you want to know how he learned to use his Boombox system? Well, of course, he went to lawabidingbiker.com
He tuned in.
/ Harley Boombox.
He tuned in.
And of course, we have
Oscar, he tuned in.
he did. And of course, we have a series of 3 videos, guys. Very, very popular videos if you want to learn how to use that boombox. It's coming on the 2014 and 2015 models. We've got one. It's a basic overview, very, very detailed on how to use the boombox. We have a follow-up on how to update your software and maps because like a computer or smartphone, you need to keep your maps up to date. And our third one is all how to use the free online software that Harley provides. And that is the ride planner so that you can plan a ride to go see these white trash people.
Somewhere in the deserts of
That's
Nevada
right.
or
You want to go get
California.
shot at?
Amen.
So I guarantee Jax went home, got on HarleyDavidson.com, ride planner, planned a ride. He downloaded, uploaded into his boombox system, and he learned it right here from lawabidingbiker.com / Harley Boombox.
Amen.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let's talk about some of these outgoing scenes, guys. You guys are just like, that was freaking smooth.
That was awesome.
That was smooth.
I didn't see that coming.
Try to keep you guys on the edge of your seats. So Bobby, I see in this outros for episode 9 coming up next Tuesday is Bobby he's in the holding cell with Cartwright and he says, let's go. It's all going to lead back to someone slitting your throat.
Yeah.
And of course they start in beating on Bobby.
I just think
he's the man.
No, I think he's dead.
Okay. Your prediction is are they going to keep cutting up parts or kill him in 9, Oscar?
They're gonna
No, they're gonna keep him, and he's got that what is that? The Ridley Auto Glide.
The
He's gonna be fine on that.
Okay, but yeah, right. But here, prediction time. You say he's going to die next
I don't
episode.
think anything they do right now is going to save him.
So your prediction is he's going to die in episode 9.
I wouldn't say episode 9.
Which episode? Spit it out.
In the next couple episodes, he's going to die.
So within the next 2 episodes, just make a prediction. Nobody's going to hold you to it, dude.
2.
All right, 2 episodes. Oscar, is he going to die next episode, or are they going to keep him around for a few?
They're keeping him.
Yep. My prediction is they're going to keep him for a few. I don't know what's going to happen, but I guarantee I think he's going to get one more body part cut off, maybe his nuts. No, just my prediction. Send his nuts in a box. What do you think?
I think that would suck.
No, they're going to cut something off.
So they.
I feel bad for him. He's the last one.
I know.
Yeah.
So Unser is with Gemma. They cut to another clip, and Unser says Juice gave up a name, and he is, quote, he is trying to get protection in Stockton. Gemma replies, quote, does Jax know? So she's obviously very interested, like what's going on here about Juice, and does Jax know what Juice is doing, and all this kind of stuff. So it looks like Jax and Tig, I think it's Tig, I couldn't tell, I rewinded a couple times, are chasing a SUV on their motorcycles. Somebody goes down on a bike.
It looks like a black guy.
It is a black guy.
Yeah.
It's the son of the dead pastor's wife. I rewinded it several times.
Oh.
Yes. It's
that
the
who
son.
that-
Yes.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. It is the son of
Wow.
the guarantee 100% because I rewinded it, I freeze framed it, and I took the notes. Yep. It is. They're chasing the son of the dead pastor's wife, the one that was up at the cabin
He's
with
trying
his
to get
mom.
revenge.
Well, I think it gets a little deeper than that, guys.
No,
So
I think it's
somebody goes down on a bike, but here it's the son pastor wife driving that.
looks like Jax's bike.
Yeah, that's kind
It
of what I
wasn't
got
Jax
too.
that went down.
No.
I rewinded it several times. Whoever's with him, it looks like Tig. Jax is riding a Street Glide special. It's another bike without a front fairing that goes down.
Okay.
It's somebody in the club. All right. Jax yells at this kid. It flashes to the scene of this of the pastor's son, and Jax is grabbing him, and he throws him up against the SUV, and he says, "You have no idea who Marks is." And the boy replies, "I have to end this." Jax yells back, and he says, "That's what we're going to do," with passion and anger. I mean, he's pissed. He goes, "That's what we're going to do." So, wow.
Ew.
Here's what I say, and maybe it'll give you some insight, and then you guys can spin off that, is I think what happens is the pastor's son is obviously trying, all he cares about is getting his mom out of this, his heroin junkie mom.
Right.
He's getting Jax. I think somehow Marks got to him, and I think Marks is like, you better take care of this or you and your mom are going to die. And this is when he attempts to turn on Jax.
Mm.
And so that's why Jax says, "You have no idea who Marks is. Like, why did you freaking do anything?" Mark says, "Do you have any idea who he is?" And he replies, and the black kid replies, "I have to end this." So, I don't know. I don't know if he actually sided with Marks a little bit, or if he's just like, "Dude, you can't get away," or maybe he's trying to run from, I don't know. But at any rate, he wants to end it. And Jack says, "You have no idea who that guy is. And that's what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to end this." So maybe the kid goes out and tries to do something on his own to end all this because he wants to expedite it and does something stupid in the process.
Or that he's on his way to do something stupid in the process.
Right.
Because the mom talks about him being violent.
Yes, you're right. Good call,
on her
Oscar.
behalf. So
Very, very good. Yep. He any last prediction, guys, before we close this thing out?
Everyone dies.
Chewy, go round table real quick.
No,
Anything?
I'm no.
All right, Oscar, any last words?
I got nothing.
Guys, it's been awesome.
Thanks for tuning in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man, we packed a lot into that episode, guys. For the rest of the season, we're going to try, and I can't promise it, guys, because it's so much time and effort to do these, and we do enjoy it. We like getting the content out to you guys, but I just have to say, it's getting deep, and I'm hoping that we can do one episode podcast per TV episode for the rest of the season.
That would be good.
So if you guys are available next Wednesday, I'm off.
Yep, I'm good.
Oscar?
Duh.
You'll have to check.
Nope, he works. If he's off this Wednesday, he works next Wednesday.
All right.
I'm back to days, so I could probably come in.
Maybe we'll get Jake up here. Anyways, guys, really appreciate you tuning in. Call to action. Make sure you check out our Patreon page. You can pledge a certain amount per episode. It helps us out. Puts a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank. Thanks to all our patrons. Free t-shirts coming at you guys. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon. Patreon. Don't forget, if you guys want to call in, get involved in the show, 509-731-3548. You can also leave us a voicemail right from your computer. Microphone, lawabidingbiker.com/voicemail from anywhere in the world, guys. That's right. Get involved with that freaking email club. Send out free stuff. When we put out free emails, lawabidingbiker.com/email club. Rate us on iTunes and Stitcher, lawabidingbiker.com/iTunes/Stitcher Radio. It helps us get found. Thank you guys so much. Keep the rubber side down.
The shiny side up.
Side up. Peace out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for being in the studio, gentlemen.